In today's gaming landscape, a new phenomenon is emerging: the anti-fan, individuals who actively root for a game's failure even before its release. So, what is an anti-fan, right? So, unlike traditional critics, anti-fans engage in preemptive negativity, often spreading skepticism and doubt about upcoming games without first-hand experience. This trend can demoralize development teams, right? Skew public perception and potentially harm a game's success before it even hits the market. So, we've sort of hinted about this and talked about this in person as well, where we've seen game studios like, I mean, it's normal, right? Like, I mean, this sort of happens where, I mean, even as small time creators like us, like sometimes you might see a negative comment and you might like, ooh, that kind of sucks. Like, what? I didn't do anything to you. Why are you saying this stuff to me, right? And if you can imagine that on a massive scale, or like a really big IP like Dragon Age, like I kind of think of what other games, right? But like there are loads of IPs like that where you're making the third or fourth game, or even if you're making a pre-sequel or a prequel to a game, and you're like, oh my god, there's all this fandom, all this love for a particular game, and then it turns immediately like on an edge, right? Like the thin line between love and war, right? It turns to war because, oh my god, you're destroying my love for something, right? The Little Mermaid, right, where we have the Black Ariel, right? I'm a big fan. Like, yes, you should have more characters of colors and everything, more representation. And of course, there were lots of people who argued about it, and I, and lots of people like the new Lilo and Stitch, which came out, and people like, this is how you do a live action remake, right? So, um, this is the rise of an anti-fan, right? So this story is based on the former Bioware writer David Gator, who highlighted this issue in an interview with PC Gamer, noticing how some individuals seem eager for the game to fail, reflecting on a broader pattern in the industry. I wouldn't even say broader pattern in media. And of course, social media, Twitter, Reddit, there are so many platforms that sort of say like, hey, like, do you hate on this game? Well, come and join us. Let's all hate on it together. And the last thing is navigating the landscape, right? So developers and fans, right? I think we need to try and be as open-minded as possible. And I'm not perfect. Like, there are definitely times where, like, man, I say I hate this particular game or this particular genre or this particular developer, despite never having played the game or having experienced it. And I think constructive dialogue is better. But at the same time, like, I think I don't even know if we can come back from where we're going at the moment, because there's just so much negativity around certain things, and people are so defensive about changes in their culture, changes about things that they love, where, and again, I won't go into as long a spiel as I've gone on before, but like, having grown up without any representation in TV or gaming or anything, and even still, I feel like I want a brown person to be a lead of a game. I still find it very hard to do that, right? Like, it's still hard to sort of say, hey, yeah, here's this person, he's the lead of this game. I played Near Mage, right? And of course, it's based in Transylvania or based in Romania, right? And the character was white, of course, because that's where they are, but it still would have been nice to have a non-Romanian person be the person in the story. Like, sure, why not? But yeah, so Adam, what do you think about the rise of the anti-fan, your experiences with it? Good, bad, terrible? Can we fix it? What do you think?
I mean, it's always been a thing. I mean, that we just used to call them hipsters, but they definitely have a easier platform to shout from with the internet. I don't think it's a new thing. There was I don't know if it was the same guy or a different guy. I think it was somebody at BioWare. It might not have been, but somebody had a really good quote where they were saying that a lot of times people will look at these games and they will say that they'll blame a game, and they were specifically talking about people complaining about games being woke, but they were saying like somebody will say like this game is woke and it's gonna fail, and when the game fails, they're like, oh, see, they'll point to it and they'll say, see, it failed because it was woke. But then the truth is that if it was a good game, people would have played it. It didn't fail because it was woke. It failed because it was a bad game. And I think that they were specifically talking about 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙦 when they said that. They were saying like, it's not that the game failed because it was woke. It failed because it just failed on so many other levels, like your previous choices from previous Dragon Ages not mattering, or people who are traditional Dragon Age fans wanting party control and not having that, or losing that access to tactical control and that sort of thing. And I mean, it's a good point. Like, if you look at games like was it was it Hogwarts Legacy? Is that the name of it? You know, people were, before that game came out, people were saying like, oh, this game is terrible, you shouldn't play it, this game is awful. And then when it came out, it turned out to be good, and suddenly everyone was quiet and everyone was playing it. Stellar Blade had a similar thing when it first came out, and people were like, oh, this game is terrible. You know, it's you had people on both sides saying like, oh, you know, this game is sexist, and the other people saying like, oh, this game is woke because there's too much covering. And then the game came out, and now everyone's like, oh yeah, this game is fantastic, to the point where it's coming out on PC, and it's this huge deal, and everyone's super excited about it. So I mean, there's definitely a truth to there being anti-fans out there. But I do feel that I do feel like a lot of times developers who point to the anti-fan are kind of trying to gloss over their own failures to create a game that resonated with audiences. I do feel like there is a little bit of like, oh, hey, my game failed not because I didn't make a great game, but because the haters out there, the haters are the ones that did it. And I do feel that that is pushing a little bit of responsibility on the audience, when I think it's usually more simply a case of you just made a game that just didn't resonate. I mean, like, look at BioWare specifically. What were the last few games they made? Okay, they made I'm trying to remember, Mass Effect Andromeda, which I personally really like, but did not perform well. A lot of people did not like Mass Effect Andromeda, and even I'll admit that while I did enjoy the game, it was basically just a rehash of the previous Mass Effects. I mean, you know, you have somebody coming in, there's an ancient civilization that has the tools that we need to fix it. There's aliens, or there's an enemy force that is taking our allies and converting them into their own army. You know, it wasn't all that creative, I'll grant you that, but I did enjoy the game. But then after that, what was their next game? Anthem. Anthem did not do well at all. It did, and then the next game that they did was the Mass Effect Legendary Edition or whatever, you know, which was just a remaster of the old Mass Effects. So yeah, that did well, but they didn't actually have to do too much in terms of gameplay or story or anything like that. And then Veilguard. So I mean, when you look at BioWare's recent track record, since I think around 2017, I think was when Andromeda came out, it hasn't been that great. So I mean, when Veilguard didn't succeed, you know, maybe they need to look a little inward. Don't just straight up accuse the fans and say like, well, this is all your fault, you know, because yeah, I think there were definitely people that wanted to see them fail, but there were a lot of people that wanted to see them succeed too. So, you know, if it had been a great game, I think the haters would have shut up and the fans would have taken over. But that didn't happen, and I don't think it's entirely because of the anti-fans. So, just my opinion.